Hello guys, this is Adip. Welcome to my channel Movement Science where I simplify biomechanics. In this video, I am going to talk about tibiofemoral kinematics of the knee joint and how meniscus and ligament influence the glide at the knee joint. I will also talk about some pathology that is related to other distal joints which influence the knee joint. Let's get started. So there are two types of motion that occur at the knee joint, that is the angular motion and translatory motion. Angular motion always occurs around an axis, so if this is the axis, the motion always occurs around the axis. Whereas the translatory motion has no axis, it just goes in a straight planar line. So to discuss this, let us take femur. If this is the femur and the axis is passing through both the condyles of the femur like this, then the tibia, having a fixed axis, will move around the femur like this. Apart from flexion extension, there is the medial and lateral rotation which occurs around the axis of the tibia. So if this is the femur, the tibia will rotate medially and laterally like this, and this is called as the medial and lateral rotation of the knee joint. And the next one is the valgus and varus force, that is the valgus movement and varus movement of the knee joint. Apart from the angulatory motion, the translatory motion in the knee joints are anterior and posterior translation and also varus and valgus forces. But the knee joint is very incongruent and the axis that is there is not fixed. It's instantaneous axis, that is it keeps changing along with the movement. If there was a fixed axis in a human body, it would be something like this. Meet Joe. So Joe has a fixed axis at his knee joint and he can flex his knee only till 90 degree. After that it cannot go because the mobility is hampered. So now that we know that the flexion occurs in the knee joint and the motion and the axis of motion is instantaneous, let us take femur and tibia and see how such a large area of the femur manages to roll on a small surface of the tibia. So as the femur rolls back, it would have fallen off the tibia, but it manages to maintain its contact with the tibia throughout the motion. So how is that? So this is where the concave convex rule comes in. When the convex surface is moving on a concave surface, the glide and the roll is in the opposite direction. Let me explain how. So the roll is the movement of the bone, whereas the glide is the movement of the joint. So the roll is also called as the osteokinematic movement, that is the movement of the bone, whereas the glide is also called as arthrokinematic movement, that is the movement at the joint. So when the bone is moving posteriorly, there is anterior glide of the femur over here, and that's how the femur keeps the contact with the tibia. The ligaments and meniscus help the femur in the gliding action, and I will explain how. We all learned that the ACL is attached anterior to the tibia and posteriorly to the femur, right? So when the femur is rolling posteriorly, it would have fallen back, but the ACL over here pulls or anteriorly glides the femur, and that's how it maintains the contact with the tibia. The PCL ligament also helps the femur in the same way during extension. Apart from the ligament, the meniscus also helps to maintain the contact of the femur with the tibia. When the femur is moving posteriorly, the ACL pulls it forward and hence it is able to maintain the contact with the tibia, whereas when it moves anteriorly, it might fall off from the front, hence the PCL pulls it posteriorly and maintains the femur's contact with the tibia. Let us now discuss the role of meniscus in this movement. As you know, meniscus helps to make the surface of the tibia more concave to improve the congruency at the knee joint. When the femur moves posteriorly, you can see that the meniscus is angled this way. So, as the femur tries to go posteriorly, the slope over here will kind of push the femur downward and will assist the anterior motion of the femur. And the similar thing happens when it goes into extension. The range of motion in the knee is from 0 to 140 degrees. With hip flex, it can go up to 160 degree. Whereas the extension is from 0 to 5 degree, that is hyperextension. Below that is a deformity called as genu recurvatum. So now that we know the normal degrees in the knee joint, let us discuss about some pathologies in the distal joint which can affect the range of motion in the knee while walking or any other activity. So this is Joe again. And if Joe has dorsiflexor contracture, that means both his legs are in dorsiflexion, that is upward, what will happen? Let's see. So I'll plant his foot over here. You can see his body weight is shifting forward and he will fall forward. So to balance this, what Joe will do is his knees will automatically go into flexion and there will be also some amount of hip flexion to maintain his center of mass. And that's how he will balance. Over here. Yeah, that's how he will balance. Whereas on the contrary, if there is plantar flexor contracture, his both legs will go into plantar flexion. What will happen over here is he will try to compensate by taking the knee into hyperextension. So as you can see over here, when there is plantar flexor contracture, his knee will go into hyperextension and that's how he will maintain his body in erect position. Or the other way he can do is, if he has plantar flexor contracture, what he has to do is he has to flex his knee and again flex his hip, and that is another way he can walk like this to maintain the balance. So to summarize, we talked about the angulatory and translatory movements that occur in the knee joint. Then we discussed how ligaments and meniscus help in gliding action of the femur, and then we learned how a ankle plantar flexion or dorsiflexion contracture will be compensated at the knee joint. That's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also let me know in the comment section what other videos you would like me to cover. Thank you for watching. I'm never